Hey everyone! In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful and delicious rose, pistachio, and raspberry mousse cake. This decadent entremet is made without any added sugar, and it's a jewel of contrast. So let's get to it. The base of this entremet is a delicious pistachio cake, and that starts with 40 grams of xylitol and 2 eggs at room temperature. If you forgot to take the eggs out of the fridge and they're cold, just let them sit in hot water for like 5 minutes or so. Then take your mixer and let it do the hard work. Beat the eggs with the xylitol until they more than double in volume. The mixture should be a pale yellow and have a slight jiggle. It should hold a ribbon. This can take up to 8 minutes, so be patient. Then reduce the speed of the mixer to a minimum and mix like this for a minute. This step is important to remove big air pockets and to give you a cake with an even surface. Then drizzle in 5 grams of olive oil. The olive oil will keep the cake moist, but you won't taste it. And now you can let the mixer rest for a little while. In my bowl I have 40 grams of pure pistachio paste, and to it I'm adding 50 grams of condensed milk. Give these a stir until you have a homogeneous green mixture. And in my other bowl I have 30 grams of almond flour, 50 grams of pistachio powder or flour, and a tiny pinch of salt. I like to use a small whisk to combine them. Now take a few dollops of the egg fluff and add it to the pistachio liquid. Mix well until the mixture is homogeneous and then pour it over your spatula into the eggs. Mix on a low speed for about a minute or so until the mixture is homogeneous. And now it's time to add the dry ingredients, and do it all at once. Mix again on low speed until everything is perfectly combined. The final addition to this sugar-free pistachio cake is a teaspoon of pure rose water. Don't be tempted to add more. It'll overpower the pistachios and you won't like it. Now give the batter a little stir with a silicone spatula just to scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl. Pour the batter into an 18 cm silicone mold. Look at that beautiful color. Lift and drop the mold a few times to release the bigger air bubbles. Bake the sugar-free pistachio cake at 150 Celsius for 25 minutes with the fan on. The oven should be preheated. Let it cool down to room temperature in the mold. As it cools down, the cake shrinks a little and pulls away from the sides of the mold. That's normal. To remove it from the mold, cover it with a serving platter and flip it. The cake will simply fall onto the serving platter. Now take a 16 cm cake ring, place it in the middle of the cake, and cut the edges out. This will give you those beautiful, symmetrical, precise layers inside your entremet. Remove the edges of the cake and then, with a hand, hold the pistachio cake in place and with the other one, lift away the ring. And that's it. It's so easy. To get this perfectly flat surface inside the entremet, you're gonna need to flip it again. Now place the 16 cm silicone mold on top and flip it again. And this is how you get those beautiful, aligned, symmetrical layers inside the cake. I also like to wipe the inner lining of the mold just to remove the crumbs. Very gently press the cake with your fingers, just to make sure that there isn't any air trapped underneath. For the raspberry confit, you're gonna need 160 grams of raspberry puree. To it, I'm adding 10 grams of lemon juice. Mix well and then add 20 grams of xylitol and 3 grams of cornstarch. I mixed the cornstarch into the xylitol to avoid lumps. Stir continuously, and when it starts boiling, cook it for 5 to 8 minutes. This reduces the puree and concentrates the flavor. It also helps the cornstarch to thicken it. Immediately pour the hot raspberry confit over the pistachio cake and level it with an offset spatula. Try to work fast here because the confit thickens very quickly. After it cools down, freeze the inserts for 2 hours. In my heat-proof bowl, I have 40 grams of white chocolate and 60 grams of pure pistachio paste. Mix them together and then add 50 grams of whipping cream. Mix until you have a thick paste. Then heat the mixture in the microwave in short intervals to avoid burning it. Stir well after each interval until you have a homogeneous, very thick cream. Spread this decadent pistachio and chocolate cream over the frozen raspberry confit. You'll have to be fast again because that cold confit will set the chocolate. Now return the inserts to the freezer for at least 2 hours. To set the beautiful sugar-free rose and raspberry mousse, you're gonna need 2 gelatin sheets, hydrated in ice-cold water. In my bowl, I have 150 grams of whipping cream, 75 grams of mascarpone, and to them I'm adding 15 grams of rose water. All ingredients are cold. Use the whisk to break the mascarpone into the whipping cream, and then mix well until it's homogeneous. Then beat by hand until the mixture thickens. Stop when you reach a soft peak consistency and set the bowl aside for now. In my heat-proof bowl, I have 120 grams of whipping cream, and to it I'm adding 20 grams of xylitol. Give these a stir. And now add 75 grams of raspberry puree. Stir well until the cream's homogeneous and a beautiful bright pink. Now microwave it in 2 or 3 intervals until it reaches 60 degrees Celsius. This is the perfect time to add the hydrated gelatin. Squeeze out the excess water and add the hydrated gelatin sheets to the pink mixture. Stir well and you'll notice that the mixture becomes shiny and glossy. As soon as the gelatin's dissolved, add 100 grams of white chocolate. Let it sit for a minute and then stir continuously until the chocolate is completely melted. When you can't notice any chocolate pieces, it's time to add some of the cold whipped cream. At first, add a dollop and mix it in with the whisk. The whisk will give you a homogeneous result much faster than the spatula. If the bowl still feels warm, add another dollop of cold cream and mix it in. This lowers the temperature of the mixture to 30-35 degrees Celsius, which is the perfect temperature to add it to the cold cream. Otherwise, our mousse would turn into a soup. Mix thoroughly with the whisk. This will give you a homogeneous mousse in no time. It will be very runny, and that's exactly what we want. Finish off with the spatula to scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl. Now pour the mousse into an 18 cm silicone mold. And look at that beautiful silky texture. Use the spatula to push the mousse into the edges of the mold so there isn't any trapped air, and then shake the platter on which the mold sits to make the bigger air bubbles come to the surface, and use a toothpick to pop them. Now immediately remove the frozen inserts from the smaller mold, and look how beautiful they are. Now, with a steady hand, cake side facing you, place the frozen inserts right into the middle of the mousse. Gently press the inserts into the mousse. The cake and the mousse must be at the same level. Until I do this, please check that you're subscribed. It helps this channel in more ways than you can imagine. Now freeze the entremet for 8 hours. After 8 hours, the cake's frozen solid. To remove the cake from the mold, pull away at the silicone to release the edges. Then take the cake into a hand and with the other one, peel the silicone off. And that's it. Place the frozen cake on a serving platter and then get it into the fridge. The cake needs 6 hours to thaw in the fridge. In the meantime, we can make the chocolate belt. Microwave 100 grams of white chocolate in short intervals. Stir the chocolate after each interval of 10 to 15 seconds. When you notice that there are only a few chocolate pieces left, stop the microwaving and stir very well. The chocolate should reach a temperature of 45 degrees Celsius. Add a few drops of green, fat-soluble food coloring. Stir well until the chocolate is homogeneous, and then add a few drops of solid chocolate. Stir continuously until the chocolate melts, and every now and then, check the temperature. The chocolate is at the ideal work temperature when it reaches 30 to 32 degrees Celsius. At this point, spread it on the acetate sheet. Use a small, offset spatula to spread it into a thin, even layer. Make sure that the layer isn't too thick, but don't insist too much with the spreading. It will affect the chocolate's ability to contract. Now lift the acetate strip and place it on your work surface. Run your fingers on the edges of the strip to give the chocolate belt a smooth finish. Let it rest on the work surface for a minute or two until it becomes slightly matte and doesn't stick anymore. Then, wrap it around a cake ring. Put the ring in the fridge for a few minutes and then let the belt set at room temperature for an hour. Because the area of the kitchen where I left it was a bit too warm, I popped it in the fridge for another minute before unmolding it. Carefully remove the acetate, a piece will break, that's fine, and then push it away from the ring. And that's it. Your chocolate belt is done. How amazing is that? And now it's time to wrap the belt around the cake. Very carefully, lift the chocolate belt and place it around the cake. I spread my chocolate too thin and the belt broke, as you can see, but it still held its shape, so I used it. Cover the top of the cake with chopped pistachios. This adds not only color, but also taste and texture. I like to do this with a small spoon to get an even layer. Now use a pastry brush to remove the chopped pistachios from the serving platter and from the chocolate belt itself. Carefully wipe off pistachio skins from the chocolate belt, and then pipe some raspberry puree dots on the surface of the cake. This creates a beautiful contrast and adds even more taste. And to show that this beautiful cake also contains the essence of roses, I like to add some dried rosebuds and petals. Now let's cut into this amazing entremet so you can see the beautiful layers inside. And for that, it's very important to wipe the knife clean between cuts. Time for the big reveal. Look at that! Simply amazing. I wish you could taste it. See you next time, dessert lovers!